Hey guys, so I'm getting ready to do a little bit of work on my beehives, and hopefully you can get this on the camera, but I'm going to take advantage of a beautiful day in the 70s today. It's been in the 90s lately, but today is in the 70s, 72, 73 degrees. It is June, and I figured I'm going to do a short little bit of tips, some tips of what I've learned over the years. Some of you know I've been doing beekeeping for a while. I also come from a family of beekeepers. My grandfather was beekeeping in the 20s all the way into, well, I was 9 years old when he passed away, 1979. So my family, I come from a family of beekeepers for at least 100 years, and picked up a lot of different tips from old traditions to new friends. I'm also working on my master beekeeper certification at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. So pick up a lot of interesting things from the course, and also from a lot of reading. But one of the things that I recommend to all my students, I also teach beekeeping classes here at the Ferreira Apiary, or Honey Shack Apiary. One of the things that I always encourage my students is to keep the hive tool nice and clean, and I personally like to have it where it's sharp. Not razor blade sharp, but nice and sharp, not a dull tool. I picked up these stone at Arbor Freight, and I have no affiliation with Arbor Freight. I'm not trying to promote their services or product or anything, but that's where I picked it up. It was pretty inexpensive. And one thing that I like to do once in a while is work on getting it a little bit sharp. There's a lot of reasons why you want your why I believe it's good to work with a sharp tool. This is my preferred hive tool too. There's different brands and different shapes out there. I like these one, and I'll show you in a little while why I like these one. But working with a nice sharp, again, doesn't have to be razor sharp, but nice and sharp tool to clean and to cut through wax easier. So that's one of the tips that I wanted to share with you. Nice sharp tool, sharpen it on both sides. And I wash my hive tool quite often too. Wash it, and if you're using, it's not recommended that you use the same tools in different apiaries, okay? But in my case, I'm managing now about 32 hives of my own, and I do use the same tools for those. They're not in the same location. I have about 12 here, but then I have other hives in different locations. So what I like to do is I do use my own tools, but those are my own hives that I maintain, and I know if they're healthy or not. Still, regardless, I always wash my tools, or especially my hive tool, in between different locations of my own hives. I do not work on other people's bees, or I do not maintain other people's bees with my tools. I use their tools. But one thing I do carry with me all the time, and I'm going to share my bucket with you guys, my tool bucket where I have all my stuff. I do carry alcohol with me at all times. I wash my hands with alcohol. I wash my hands constantly. I wash them with alcohol also. And besides washing the tool, I also disinfect it with alcohol. Okay, so I just wanted to share these little tidbit. Now we're going to go up and work on the hives, and I'm sure that I will share some things with you guys up there. All right, see you in a little bit. Hey guys, so I'm here at the at my home apiary where I have about 12 bees, and I wanted to share with you what I use for a beekeeping toolbox, if you will. It's not a toolbox, it's really a bucket. But again, I'm showing you these things, but I want you to understand that I have no affiliation with any of the stores or products that I'm showing you. I'm just sharing what I use. Maybe it's going to be useful for you guys. One of the things that I like to use, and I came across at Home Depot, was these bucket skirts, or these bucket inserts, if you will. I find them really useful, and I am next to a hive, so I find them really useful to carry things. It's a regular bucket that you can find there, very inexpensive. And then they have these inserts for the bucket where you can carry a lot of your things. Like I carry my tool hive. I hope you can see it. Let me adjust it a little bit more here. There we go. Anyway, so I carry my tool hive in here, my sharpening rock, and I just have different tools that I use for beekeeping. You know, different things that I have. My lemongrass for the bait hives, hive beetle traps. Just to give you an idea, there's a lot more stuff. The brush and screwdriver, all you can use screwdriver. That comes handy because there are certain things sometimes in the hives that you can use it for. I get a kick out of these one. I do carry a torch, carry extra torch. Great for lighting up fires, great for torching outside cover, for example. If you find something that you want to make sure it's not wax moth or something, or spider webs or ants or something, if you want to, and there's nothing like a little bit of heat to really kill stuff around the edges of the covers. I also carry alcohol. Like I said, I use this. Yeah, you're gonna get stung. Go down there. Go lay down. Put your pillow. I carry alcohol with me all the time for my hands. I find that I like working with my bare hands. For that, you have to smoke your hands, or you have to use alcohol. I find alcohol is enough for me. I just wash my hands good with alcohol. I wash my hands at home with warm water and soap, and then I wash them with alcohol, and I don't seem to have any problems with the bees stinging my hands. If I do get stung, then I'll use smoke. After I take the stinger off, I'll use smoke and smoke that area of the stinger, just to to hide the pheromone, or else they'll keep stinging you in the same spot, and that's not fun. Okay, so that's what I use for my tools. It's just a bucket and the bucket insert. I found that at Home Depot, and it works really good for me. All right, they have a large bucket insert, and they also have a smaller bucket and a smaller bucket insert. I started with a small bucket. I thought maybe I didn't want to carry too much stuff, but I found out that it was too small. I like the big bucket. I can carry a lot of stuff in there. I also have my gloves, just in case. Sometimes you come across a hive that is just not having it for whatever reason, and I have the gloves. I have also a box of the rubber nitrite gloves that I like. Just as a backup. But that's another thing that I always recommend my students and my friends is to use your bare hands. Learn to use your bare hands. It just makes such a huge difference. As I said before, I'm enrolled in the Master Beekeeper certification at Cornell University, and they don't want to see gloves there. They want bare hands. I think now they allow you to use the surgical gloves or whatever you call them, but they still prefer bare hands. And I used to use gloves. I used to use these types of gloves, like everybody when they start. And it was a huge difference. Working with your hands. Your bees, you learn to work slower, and you learn to be more careful working around the bees. And in return, I find that the bees become less, less upset with you. I don't want to say aggressive. I don't believe bees are not aggressive. They're defensive. They'll defend the hive if they feel that they're being threatened. Okay, so by nature they're not aggressive. I don't get stung very often at all with working with my hands. But you work carefully, slowly, and that really helps keep your bees nice and calm, and keep them, have a hive of bees, a colony that's calm. That's so important. I get a lot of people who say, "Oh, my bees are, a menace. They're constantly attacking me, blah blah blah." And then I start working with these people and teach them to work slowly with their hands, bare hands, and suddenly, it's like night and day. These bees just become calm and not quote unquote aggressive, as a lot of people call them. Why? Because you're not threatening them, so they don't have to become defensive. Again, they are not aggressive, they're defensive. They will defend their hive. Okay, but okay, enough talking. I'm gonna start working now. Another thing I wanted to share with you is you guys don't have to spend money buying fuel from the catalogs. I use pine cones, pine needles, dried up sticks, all things you can find naturally without spending money. Okay, that's another thing to keep in mind. And I like the sticks, believe it or not. I know a lot of people are gonna laugh about this, but these things, it's natural wood, a lot of maple stuff, and but anyway, and they last a long time. I've seen people work with cardboard paper, the brown cardboard paper, different materials. I like to not have to buy fuel to burn. I don't like burning money. Times are hard for everybody. So I go out, I take the kids out for a hike or something, and I'll carry a bag and I'll pick up pine cones and pine needles. And my grandfather, back in the 20s and 30s, and even when I was little, when I was introduced to the bees by him, he was using pine cones and eucalyptus leaves and all kinds of natural stuff that you can find for free. So why spend money with buying little pallets and crap that don't work that great, to be honest with you. So sticks, pine cones, pine needles. Pine needles burn pretty fast though, but if you mix it, you can mix it, and it's pretty good. Okay, so learn about that. Now I gotta go work on my bees before the sun starts hitting it, and then I'll melt. Alright guys? Alright, I'll be back in a little bit with another tip. Lots of eggs, lots of brood. So the queen has been pretty busy, and I'm thinking that I'm going to give him a new box. One thing I forgot to bring today is a wax bucket. I always bring a bucket for throwing wax. I save all my wax, and I'll tell you later why. But if you don't have it, throw it in your pocket. Little smoke, far away, not too close. don't want to cook the bees. But if you see them standing up and looking at you, then definitely a little smoke, because they're checking you out. Like I said, work nice and slowly. And she is doing a great job. A great job. Lots of eggs. Boy, she's been busy. Lots of eggs. You want to keep an eye on stuff like this. And this is why I like a nice sharp knife, is because it makes it very easy to just take these little things off. And you know what that might be, right? They definitely need another box. I know that they had a couple of weeks ago I was here, and I knew they were gonna have a lot of babies, and they did. There's a lot of young new bees in here. They've quite doubled in size. This is a new hive. I started these here. I started a lot of my new hives here at the house, and start checking. They start checking you out like that. You look. They're looking up at me. See? A little smoke. Far away. Don't cook your bees. And work slowly. Work slowly. It's not always going to be perfect. Little bangs like that, they really don't like that. But work slowly. Work slowly. Again, lots of brood, lots of larvae and eggs. Wow, yeah, lots of young bees also. Lots of young bees that have hatched from the bottom medium box. Some of my hives have mediums. Some of the hives are deeps. You gotta use what you got. I like the mediums, they're easy to pick up. And there's a lot of new bees coming up. Let me see if I can show you this. Hopefully I can get this on the camera, but for example, let's see, right there. Can you see it? And there's a little bee coming out. Look at that bee. See it in the center there? Wow. We're witnessing the birth of a bee. There it is. How beautiful. What else we got? Got lots of larvae. Check it out. Lots and lots of stuff in there. Look at this. Look at that. Sorry if I shake a little bit too much. I'm using my iPhone to film this. Do you see the larvae? Look at that, guys. Look. Look how beautiful. Younger ones. Notice the eggs. Look at the center of the screen. Look at the eggs. You see the little specks of eggs down there? Yeah. Let's see, let's see, let's see. And there's that one bee coming out. And they're working. They're just working. Hey guys, guess who I found? See in the center there? The longer bee? Yeah. Her Highness, Her Majesty the Queen. Slaving away. She's a hard worker too. Look at that. She's beautiful, huh? Look at that. That is the Queen. And she's working. Can you see her? Oh, look at her. Look at her, look at her, look at her. Uh-oh.